Okay, welcome everybody to our Tuesday night training. Tonight, we're going to go over boards. So I'm going to share my screen. We've had some questions. And so we want to go, let me see, where's partner go? Let's go to this one. Are y'all seeing my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So the first question I want to go over is somebody asked me at the event the other day is how, when you create your own board, how do you copy from one board and bring that to your board? So everybody knows if you have boards, you get one free board, and that's usually System of Growth. That's what we send people to start them marketing, advertising, and building, moving drops and building a team. And the System of Growth is managed by Dr. Crystal and Ashley Paulson. So if they change anything in that board, it changes for everybody. So they're the only two that can moderate, or they are the owners of that board. So when you go into System of Growth, you can post from there, but you can't change anything. So for that reason, when they started all the boards, you can see over here, I created my own board. It says David's board. And so that allowed me the freedom of being able to manage this board like I want it managed. Okay, so what I did, if you want to copy something, if you want to create your own board, you just go in and you create it. It's right there. You just hit create board with that plus symbol. And then when you go in, you create little folders. But I'm going to go back to System of Growth, and I'm going to say, I'm going to go into SOG here, and I'm going to go to social media posting. And I'm going to click and put the little check mark in the box of social media posting. When I do that, it selects that whole folder. See, it's kind of shaped like a vanilla folder here. And then if I come over to the side, it says copy at the top right. So I can press copy. And it wants me to know where I'm going to copy it to. That's what it's asking. It highlights my boards. That's the only place I can copy it to. So I'm going to go into David's board, because that's where I want to put it. And say I don't have a folder I want it in already. It's going to social media posting, but I'm going to, since I've already got it there, I don't want to post it again. So I'm going to turn around and delete it. So, but I'm going to create a folder because I have to put it somewhere. I'm going to create that folder, and I'm going to call it, I'm just going to call it practice for right now because I'm going to turn around and delete it. And I'm going to create that folder, and it tells me that there's nothing here. So I have to paste what I just copied here. All right, so I just pasted it. So now if I go back into my board and I scroll down to the bottom, there it is, practice. It just copied it and pasted it into that folder. And there's everything from the System of Growth into my board that I own. Now I can go in and edit anything I want to edit or delete or whatever. So I'm going to go back out of that because I actually want to delete that folder. I don't need it. So to delete it, I'm just going to check it, top right, and press delete. Yes, delete content. Does anybody have any questions on that before I go into the SOG and how to do the SOG? No? Okay. So when you join our company, when you partner with us with Partner Co., we're going to ask you to download a third-party app called Boards. When you download Boards, they give you a free version where you get one system in that they allow you to use. If you're going to need more than one, then you're going to have to pay for boards. It's not expensive. I don't remember how much it is, but it's a monthly fee of, I don't know, $10 to $15, I think, something in there. But when you download the boards, you're going to go through a setup process. They're going to ask you some questions like, what company are you with? Do you lead a team? Are you part of a team? It really doesn't matter what you say and all of that. What does matter is you have to give Boards full access to your keyboard, because Boards is going to become a keyboard on your phone. All right. So make sure you allow it the full access. Once you do that, whoever enrolled you or somebody immediately on their upline that's helping you is going to send you a link from the System of Growth. All right. And I'm going to show you, I always do it on my phone. So if I want to send this System of Growth to somebody, I would click share right here. It would copy it to my clipboard, and then I would paste it and send it to them. When you get the link, you're going to click on it to open it, and it's going to say open in app, and you're going to say yes. When it opens in the app, the next thing it's going to say is join this board, and you're going to say yes. You're going to agree to joining that board. When you do that, then your board's app that's on your device is going to have this system of growth with a dollar bill beside it. All right. And then you have access to everything we have for marketing. So now let's go over what's in here. When you open the system of growth, the first thing you'll see is all of this stuff, and this all a lot of stuff. I mean, they even have a system of growth in Spanish if you need it, but there's all kinds of things right here on the homepage. But what we're interested in for you to make money here quickly to start advertising is the Slenderize SOG. So we click on that and we open it. In these folders, you're going to see social media posting. So what you'll want to do is click on the social media posting, and we have this broken down into 4 weeks. All right. If you're here and you're new, you're going to go to week 1. You're going to open that up. And y'all, when I started building this system, this first week is exactly the post I used. Okay. I even screenshotted this, these little purple marks here. That was me doing the pin mark to block out somebody's picture because they didn't want their picture being seen. They didn't want their friends knowing what they were doing. They said I could post it, just make sure that no one knew who they were. But what you'll do is you'll share Kim's picture on day 1 at 9 a.m. And then you'll share the text that goes with her picture. And the text is simple. I'm so excited to start my new journey. Kim's lost 92 pounds on the body balancing drops. I can't wait for my results. It doesn't say anything about buying a product, joining a company, anything like that. It is just getting people watching what you're doing, because that's going to get people's attention. This lady lost 92 pounds and you're doing it. What are you doing? You're going to get those questions. Hey, what are you doing? What are these drops? We post at 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. if our jobs allow us. Some jobs don't allow it, so you have to kind of work around that, but at least post twice a day. The reason we chose 9 and 3 is when we were building this system out, we did a little homework and we found that social media is the most active at those 2 times of the day during the week, 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Why everybody's not at work working, I don't know. They're on social media. So that's why we post at these times. Because if you're going to make the post, we want as many eyes to see that post as we possibly can. And you go through a few of these posts and they're just showing more of the results. The first 3 are pictures. Then this one's a text between me and one of my drop customers. And then as you go down, I really like this picture here. When I started, it showed a really fast result of the visceral fat that this lady was able to release on our program. And so I shared that, but the text that I shared, now I want y'all to understand how powerful this is. I had nobody message me about wanting information on the drops, but I had a lot of people commenting and a lot of people liking and hearting it. And so I made a call to action post. And it's just simple. I said, okay, I've had several people reach out to me about the body balancing drops. Notice I didn't call them by name because I don't want people to go to Google and Google what they were. I said, I'm about to place a bulk order to save people money. Let me know if you want a box. Very simple. When I did that, I started selling drops within 5 minutes of that post. Okay. And I sold whatever it was. I had a goal. Say I want to sell a 4-pack. Well, I had sold maybe 6 boxes. I don't know, something like that. And so the next day, I thought about this. I was on my phone, and Temu, you know, everybody knows what Temu is. My wife had put me on that app. And they told me something I had looked at, only 2 left in stock or something. And I thought, they got more than 2 left in stock. They're trying to hit me with a sense of urgency that, you know, that I don't miss out. And I thought, well, why don't I try that? So I shared the same post as the day before. And then the text was, update. Only 2 boxes left in this order. Let me know if you want one. When I did that, my sales skyrocketed. I started selling 10 packs left and right. It was just that sense of urgency and people noticing that other people were buying. Okay. So that's why we tell everybody, when you start, follow this system. Don't change any of the wording up. There's typos in there. They're there on purpose. There's emojis. They're there on purpose. We don't want it to sound like a bot. We don't want it to sound like a corporate campaign. We want it to sound personable. So follow the system. Just follow it. It's that simple. The people that follow it have success and make money. Okay. When we originally started this, we only had 1 week's worth of posts here. And the purpose of the week was, we thought, well, at the end of the week, our partners will know how they should be posting, and we will grab each other's posts and share them. And that's what we were doing. But it didn't take long to figure out people need a little bit more guidance. Some people did. And so Dr. Crystal and Ashley got up with me and said, hey, we want to build this out and have a month's worth of posts. So now in the board's app, we have a month's worth of posts on social media for you. Okay. Posting twice a day. That's a lot of posts. That's a lot of testimonials. By the time you're through week 4, you should have friends in the company that you've met, people on social media you follow. You'll be seeing other people's posts. If you like that post, grab that post. Don't share it from their page to your page. Go steal that picture from their page, copy what they said and paste it. Make that post your original post. Because if you share it from your page and somebody that you don't know happens upon your page and they see it, well, the next thing they may do is click on the next person's page and just follow the next person on down. And so you don't want your potential customers going to somebody else's post. So always own the post. Always make it yours. Okay, so don't share from somebody else's page. Steal that picture. We all do it. We all understand we agree to it. Nobody's going to get mad. Then copy the verbiage, paste it into your social media and share it. Just make sure that if you're pasting the verbiage, that they haven't hashtagged their name or their something personal to them, or they don't have their own personal link shared into that post. You want to change that to your link if you want to do something like that. There's a bunch of before and afters on here. If you want to share anything else, one of the things I did, y'all, you can advertise any way you want to. This system is so powerful. So I took a lot of these pictures and I shared them into a folder on my phone in my photos that just says transformations. So now if I'm talking to somebody somewhere, I don't have to pull up boards. I can go to my photos and say, oh, look, here's my cousin Sean. He lost 110 pounds. Look, here's Jeremy. He's lost 75 pounds. I can just flip through all the photos I have handy on my phone. There's tons of ways to advertise. This is just one of the tools that we have. One of the things in here that's really cool that Susan had happen, that's called a host a post. And a host a post is when somebody else shares for you. They may not be a brand partner. They're usually not a brand partner. But they share for you and they tag you so people that are their friends on social media can see what they're saying and come to you if they want to purchase your product. So we had a lady that was Susan's customer, and Susan, I'll let you unmute and share a little bit about this if you don't mind. But she had a customer come on and make a post on social media, and I saw it, and I called Susan and told her, I said, you better get ready because your phone's about to blow up. That was the first hosted post I ever saw. Susan, can you unmute and share that for a second?
Yeah. I didn't even know that she was going to go on there and say anything. She'd only been on the drops about 3 or 4 days. And she'd come on there and she said, y'all know I don't say anything if I don't believe in it. She said, but I got these drops from Susan Cox. And she just told about how much better she felt. And she had lost inches and she didn't really need a lot of weight to lose, but her hormones were bad and she wasn't sleeping. And she just went on there and told how good she felt and tagged me in it. And I was at the dollar store, and before I could get home, I had about 25 messages trying to get boxes, and I ended up selling about 60 boxes in 3 days that weekend.
So these hosted posts can be powerful if they're structured the right way. So here's, I haven't even looked at what's in here. So we'll look at it and see. They're saying the same thing I just described. So what's the wording? Let's see. Here's the wording. Here's what they use on this team that does this board. Manage your hormones always determines weight loss and so much more. My friend, which would have been Susan Cox, told me about these amazing body balancing drops that do so much more for your body, men and women. And it just tells what they do. Comment me below if you want more information. She does have boxes on hand and she can ship you as well. Don't wait. She sells out fast. I like that because the same thing, you know, it hits with that sense of urgency. Don't wait. She sells out fast. And that really does move people from thinking about it to reaching out. Now the only thing that Susan's customer didn't do, she didn't say comment me below if you want more info. She said reach out to Susan. So, but either way, whatever you want, the person may just want to say reach out to, you know, Angie and Larry if they, you know, if you want a box. But all of this is in the boards for you. You don't have to come up with it. Everything is here for you to use, you know, to be successful. And so this is the social media posting. Once somebody does reach out to you and says, hey, can you tell me what these drops are? Hey, what are you doing? You know, you seem excited. Tell me about what the program is. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to text scripts for drops. And you're going to take anything that's on text scripts for drops, and that goes in a private conversation. You do not want this on social media for everybody to see and read. The reason is, if you post what's in here on social media, you just stopped the power of the conversation. Nobody has any reason to reach out to you unless they just want to buy them. And a lot of times that conversation overcomes objections. And so it's always good to have that conversation. That's what the social media posting is for. It's using the attraction marketing to get people interested so you can have that conversation with them. And most of the conversation is right here in text scripts for drops. So when somebody says, what are the drops? This is all you're going to do. You're going to click on this and send it to them. It says, hello, thanks for asking for info on the body balancing drops. I'm like to make it more personable. I like to say, hey, Susan, or whoever messaged me, thanks for asking for info on the body balancing drops. This used to say, hey, parentheses, their name. But the problem was people were sending it without changing their parentheses, you know, their name in parentheses. So we had to remove that and just make it generic. But I still like to make it personable. And some people take this a little further. They'll do a voice message and they'll just read it, you know, and do a voice message. Hey, Susan, thanks for asking for info on the drops. They go into your tongue 3 times a day. You know, they just tell them what it is. They just feel like that voice message is really personable. The last sentence is important. I've been buying them in bulk to save people money. Why do I say that there? I want this person to know that if they buy from me, they're getting a discount. And that always piques interest because they want to know what is the interest. I mean, what is the discount? What's the price? And 95% of the time, the next question is, what's the price? So that's the next script. When you send that, it's going to explain to the person, you buy them in bulk, so you can get them to them for $160, $150, whatever your price point is. It's never lower than $150. And it's as high as $176 here in the United States. They're usually $200 after tax and shipping. So I save people about $50 on the purchase. I accept Venmo, Cash App, whatever you want to tell them there. Let me know if you want to reserve a box because they go fast. And then send that. That's the only 2 links or only 2 scripts I ever have to send. And that, y'all, with those 2 scripts, I have about a 90% conversion rate of people asking me what the drops are to becoming purchasing customers. And it took us a while to come up with these simple scripts because most of us are too analytical. We want to say too much. But the more simple it is, the easier it is to sell. And so don't change these scripts very much if you're sending them out. Keep them like they are. And then you can go through here and you can look at all the, if anybody asks anything, there's all kinds of questions that are answered right here. The only other thing I really ever do is if somebody has stalled on me and they haven't made a purchase or they say, do you have any more information on it? I come to info on Slenderize, which is on the homepage of the SOG. I click on that. And then there's a video right here that says information on Slenderize. It's Dr. Crystal's video that's very personable. I like it. It's only about 4 minutes long. And so people will tend to watch it because it's not too long. Or if somebody hasn't responded back after I send them the price, a week or two later, I'll send them this video and then I'll say something. Hey, I remember you were interested in the drops. I'm not sure if you forgot or if you're still interested, but here's a quick video on this, on Dr. Crystal explaining the drops. When I do that, I get about another 30% of sales of the people that have gone quiet and ghosted me. Okay. Y'all, that's the only thing I ever really send. I don't send, if somebody asks for ingredients list, I'll send it, but that's like 1 out of every 100. I don't get that very often. Same thing with approved food list, but we have fat burning meal recipes here, a cookbook, all kinds of stuff in here to help support you and your organization and what you're doing. So anybody have any questions on that? No?
David, do you think the algorithm times the 9 and 3 will ever change? And if they do, how will we know that? How
Well,
long
it's not,
have they been that way?
so it's not the algorithms. What that is the peak times of social media.
Okay, well, will those ever change? And if they do, how will we
Well,
know? How long have
I
they-
don't know. You know, I just Googled a few things and did a little bit of research that way. And that's what the consensus was. So, you know, just periodically look it up and see what they're saying the peak times is. Now, I will say Friday through Sunday, the peak times were different. But across the board during the week, social media is a lot busier than it is on the weekend. I guess the weekend people are out busy, having fun, living their lives. But during the week, social media is busier. So and it was at 9 and 3. So I guess, you know, looking it up here and there every so often, we'll know, you know, if it changes, we can figure it out pretty quickly. But
So
good
what is
question.
on weekends? Do you know?
What's that?
What is the busy time on weekends? Have you looked at that at all?
I did look it up, but I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't want to confuse people and throw out a bunch of different times. You know, the thing with when you create a system, if you've seen my presentation, I don't know if you've seen it, where I talk about this. One of the first things that came to my mind that I had learned from Todd was the system has to be simple and it has to be duplicatable. So you don't want to muddy the water and slow things down with whatever you do. If you want your newest person to be able to run with it day one and make money. And the easier you can make it, the more successful you're going to be. So that's one of the reasons I didn't get really bogged down with all the different times.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Now, what'll happen is when you, and I'm not on my phone tonight, so I can't show this, but on your phone, boards becomes a keyboard. And so when you pull up your, like if you're going to post in social media and you touch the box to post, when your keyboard pops up on the bottom left, there's a globe. And that's just a toggle switch that opens up the board's app. So you'll just press the toggle switch, the globe on an iPhone, and it pulls up what you're seeing now. And then you just go through the steps I just showed you to post or to reply to somebody on Messenger or whatever. Because every time you pull up that keyboard, you'll see your globe that is the toggle switch. Now, the Androids are a little different. Tracy, are you where you can explain a little bit about without going too in depth? I saw you were turned around. You were busy.
Get silverware out of the dishwasher. Yeah, on the Androids, it's going to be an actual, looks like a little mini keyboard, and it'll be down in the bottom left-hand corner. And if it's not there, you just have to go into your settings and go under management. I think it's management device, where your keyboards are at, to turn on your keyboard for boards. When you go back on your home screen of your phone, if it shows a little microphone for voice input, you just hold that down and then it comes up and asks you if you want to switch it over to for input method to boards, and you tap on that and it'll bring your board's keyboard up that way as well.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, David, one thing that we ran into this weekend, we were helping someone. Boards can be linked to other apps. And so ran into a situation where we were trying to connect boards, the keyboard to boards, but because it was already linked to another app, it wouldn't show up. So they had to go into the other app and disconnect it from, the keyboard from that app so that then it could work with the board. So just an FYI, if you're helping somebody and it's like, well, it's not working. It's something else is coming up. That's what happened.
Okay, that's good to know. I haven't seen that, so that's good to know. So if it comes up, we'll kind of know how to handle it.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I'm gonna switch gears now, and I'm gonna go over to the Partner Co office. So I'm gonna show you how to do a link and a few other things real quick. So when you log into your office, you'll see the menu tab at the top left, which is the 3 bars, and you'll click on that. And then if you just want to send well, let's do promo codes first. As you scroll down, you'll see where it says promo codes, because Tanya had a question about this today. When you click on promo codes, there it goes, pull them up. It pulls up, Partner Code gives you a promo code, but you can go and edit the code and name it whatever you want to name it. Okay. And when you do that, when you send somebody your promo code, it gives them that 15% discount on a link. That way that they're incentivized to continue shopping with you. Otherwise, if you don't give them a discount, they might as well go buy from corporate or somebody else. So I always give my customers at least a 15% discount. But that's how you access your promo codes. And then I'm gonna go back to my menu tab again. And I'm gonna go to shop. Well, yeah, let's go to shop this time. If I go to shop and it pulls up products, right? Let's say I've got something in my cart, but let's say somebody wants Renew. I'm gonna add it to my bag. One-time purchase, add to bag. And then I come up here to the top right and I'm gonna click on the shopping bag. And when I do that, it pulls up what's in it. So I'm gonna remove the noni. So I've got Renew in the box in my bag, but I want to send it to somebody for them to purchase. And I see my price is $105. So I'm gonna create the smart link. Now, when they open this, they're not gonna see the $105. They're gonna see 15% price higher than this. Okay. So you're gonna create the smart link, and it's gonna be a shopping link. You can create an enrollment link with the noni if you want to, if they're wanting to pay the $30 and join you. But I'm gonna create a shopping link here. I create it. I'm gonna include the promo code, so they get that 15% off of full retail. If I want them to be able to add it to a subscription to be reoccurring, then I don't need to hide this. So I did this day before yesterday. I had somebody want 2 bottles of Limu and they wanted to put on a subscription. So I included the promo code and I let them subscribe and save. So they got the full 30% discount. But they're my customers that's reoccurring every month. So I'm going to give them that discount. Don't have to give them, you can hide that if you want to and not give them the option to get the other 15%. So if somebody purchases and you get them your promo code and they do save that 15%, there's still a 15% difference between what you pay and what they're paying just sitting out there. Well, Partner Co is going to pay you that 15% cash retail profit the following Friday in your paycheck. So I'm going to name this link Renew, and I'm going to create the link. Then I copy the link and then I paste it and send it to them in a message, text, email, however I want to get it to them. It's that simple. Does anybody have a question about that, about how to create a shopping link? No? Okay. Let me X out of that. Go back. Go back to here. Okay. So the next thing I want to show is an enrollment link. Okay. So
David,
for
there
an
was a
enrollment
question
link,
in the chat.
What's that?
There was a question in the chat about going through it again, one part of it or something. Tina,
You want me to go through it again? Okay, I can go through it again. Let me go back to shop. Okay. I can't see chat, so if somebody puts something in the chat, please let me know. I'm screen sharing, so I can't see anything that's going on with the Zoom. Okay,
that's
so
why I
I've
was
added,
catching you.
what's that?
That's why I was catching you.
Oh, thank you. So I've added renew to my bag. I think it's still in there. So I click on my bag. Yep, there's my renew. Okay. So I want to send this link to somebody, right? So instead of proceeding to checkout, I'm going to create a smart link. Again, it's showing my price, which is the $105. But when they open it, they're not going to see that price. They're going to see 15% more. So I'm going to create the smart link. And this is going to be a shopping link. So I'm going to create it. If I include my promo code, they're going to get 15% off. If I don't include that promo code, they're paying full retail, which is 30% higher than the 105. So it'd be about 150. And that difference of about $45, Partner Code would pay you that cash the following Friday. But I'm going to give my partner or my customer a discount. So I'm going to include my promo code. If I don't care if they subscribe or not and get the full 30%, I'll leave this box unchecked. If I want them to not get it, I'll check it and I'll hide the subscription and they'll have to, all they can get is a 15% discount. And then I name my link, which I'm gonna name renew. And then I'll create the link. I'm not gonna create it again, but you create it, then you copy it. Did that answer, did that help going back over it?
She said yes.
Okay, good.
I do have a question about it now that you don't.
Yes,
And so you send that to your customer with your promo code.
the
So when they
promo
get
code
close to
embedded
being
in it already.
right. When it comes time for them to reorder, will they have to request another link, or does
No,
this create
if they have the link,
customer
they can
account for them for the
redo it.
reorder?
Yep.
They have to use the link to go in though, right? It's not creating an account for them.
It won't create them account unless if they subscribe and save, it'll create them an account. They'll have to go in and create a password. It'll give them a number as a customer.
Okay.
But if it's just a one-time purchase, I don't think it creates an account.
Okay. So we just have to be diligent in the follow-up after they've purchased.
Right.
Great. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So an enrollment link is a little different. I went to my menu tab, the 3 lines that were up here, and then I'm going to my business, and I want to enroll a new brand partner. Okay. When you first click enroll a new brand partner, it tells you the 5 steps you're about to go through. You're going to connect with your sponsor, choose your products, add digital business tools, subscribe and save, then check out. So, but somewhere in here, we're going to create a link. So I'm going to hit next. So the first thing is it wants to know who is a sponsor. And this would be correct if it's me. So that's my sponsor. That's the sponsor. Always choose placement queue right here. You can do all this other, but if I choose manual and I put somebody to be placed under Susan Cox and they drag around and don't fill it out, and then I have 5 other people and I need them all to go under Susan Cox, it's not going to allow them to do it until this person fills out the link. So that's why I like to leave it in the placement queue so they can go ahead and fill it out, and then I can go in and placement whenever they complete the link. It doesn't matter what order that it's completed in. So leave it on placement queue and hit confirm. And then the next step is choose the products that you want. So let's say that person's coming in with a 10-pack of drops. You would choose this. If what they're choosing is not here, you can shop all and go find it. If you choose to proceed without product, it's going to give you a warning. And then you just have to say proceed anyway or whatever, and it'll go to the next page. But I'm going to add the 10 boxes of drops, and then I'm going to click next. Now here it's telling me they're going to charge my new partner the $30 for the business tools. So I just click next. And now it wants you to set up a subscription because the subscription is what triggers the discount. They can proceed without a subscription, but I highly, highly, highly recommend having that conversation with them and setting this up on the front end. So go ahead and add, I'm gonna add this one to the bag. And then I'm gonna click next. And then the next screen is where they want their information. Now here, I don't fill out all of this unless I'm sitting there with them. I just come up to the top and click Smart Link. And then I name my link. I'm gonna say Susan Enroll 10-pack. Or I can just come back in here and say enroll with 10-pack of drops. I don't think you have to put this pin here, but I always do. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I generate the link. I copy that link and then I paste it and send it to them in a text, messenger, email, however I want to get it to them. And then when they fill it out, they'll be a brand partner. And when they do, let me see if I can go back. Let me go back to the particle office. When they do that, when you go to your home page, right here where it says placement queue, where it says 0, there'll be a 1 sitting there. And you'll click on place now, and it'll open the page up where you can go in and physically continue through and place them where you want to place them. So the only other thing I want to show is once you have created your links, when you open your menu, when you click on your menu tab and it gives you these options, if you come down to Smart Links, then the links you've created are here. Okay, so if I look, enroll with 10-pack of drops, I just created that link. If I have somebody else that wants that link, I don't have to go through all those steps again. I can come right here, copy it, and then paste it and send it to them. Enroll with a 4-pack. I can copy it, paste it, and send it to them. Okay, so all your links are right here that you create. Any questions?
David, I have a question.
Yes.
So you were saying about the discount. If someone signs up with a 10-pack but does not enroll, are they supposed to get a discount, or they get more of a discount if they enrolled in subscription?
Okay, so what happens is the company honors their subscription for their first 4 Fridays here in the company. So if they don't set it up on day 1, they're still going to see that discount. All right.
Okay.
But once that 4th Friday rolls around, when it hits Saturday, if they don't have a subscription that process, they're not going to see their discount. Their prices are going to go back up.
For the next order, if they do a next order?
Well, yeah, let's say
Okay.
4 Fridays comes around and they haven't set up a subscription, and sometime during that next week or two, they decide they want to order something. When they click in their shopping, they're not, they're going to see full retail. They're not going to see their discount because their subscription isn't set up.
Okay.
All they have to do is go in and set up that subscription, and then they'll see their discount. But
Okay.
that's why the subscription needs to be set up. It's really specific to the day the person enrolled. So that's why it's really crucial to get that set up on day 1 and just let them know, hey, the subscription is what triggers your discount. We need to go ahead and set that up. We can always change it. We can always cancel it. So write this day down and write this amount down so we know when it's coming out and how much it is. And I always tell people it can be products you want to sell. If you want to sell 2 boxes of drops, put 2 boxes of drops on there, have them on your subscription, or 2 boxes of MOA, whatever you want to sell, and get your money back. A lot of people actually pre-sell that product, take their customers' money, put it in the bank, and let their money cover their subscription. I've had a lot of people do that. Or it can be products that they want to use. It doesn't matter. It just has to run. And if you're making money here, if you want to get paid by the company, it has to be 100 points of product or $150 of product prior to tax and shipping. It has to be $150 of pure product cost to be paid by the company. Now, any product at any price, like our oatmeal soap for $6, if you put that on a subscription, it's going to trigger your discount. But you're not commission eligible unless you reach that 100 points or $150 product value amount.
Okay. So just to get the discount, you need to be on subscription. It doesn't matter how much, but to get paid, it does need to be 100 PV or $150.
Correct, absolutely correct.
Okay.
Yep. And I was not very good at explaining that initially on. So now I finally figured out how to explain it. So I hope everybody gets that because that is important. There was a lot of confusion in my organization early on. So Kim helped me straighten that out. So thank you, Kim. I'll give you your kudos. All right, let me stop share. Okay. So y'all, we are at an hour, just a hair over from when we started. So that's about my Zoom limit time that I'm subscribed for. Does anybody have any quick questions that we can answer or anything they want to add?
I have a quick one. There was this thing in the chat and in order to add a message me link on your Facebook post, you can do m.me/ and put your username. And then it will take people to your messenger chat. But you got to make sure that it's got your correct username. Like I just did one for Deborah Fisher and I didn't have her correct name and it took her to somebody else. So make sure you go into your Facebook settings and make sure you know what your username is. And it may not be necessarily your display name, but your username. And that just adds that link to your post and it takes them straight to your chat.
All right, awesome. That's good to know. I'm gonna stop the recording.
Will you?